Moving to the fifth module of material science. In the fifth module, we have to learn about superconductor materials and solar energy materials. Superconductor materials we have already covered in the previous classes. Now we are going to move over to solar energy materials. That is, the materials used for converting solar energy into useful applications. There are two types of conversion of solar energy. One is photothermal conversion and the other one is photovoltaic conversion. Photothermal conversion means conversion of incident solar radiation into heat. That means the solar radiation is being used for heating purposes. So the various applications include solar water heater. That means the radiation is being used to heat water. Solar cookers. That means the solar radiation is being used for cooking. When compared to coal, the main advantages include no fuel is required, negligible maintenance cost, and it is pollution free. Moving over to photovoltaic conversion. Photovoltaic conversion is the conversion of sunlight into electricity. So we are getting electricity, that is DC power, using solar cells, and it can be used to power our homes, to power street lights, to power a simple calculator, etc. And when compared to a typical coal power plant, the main advantage includes absence of moving parts, maintenance cost is low, it is pollution free, easy to operate, etc. Solar energy collectors are of two types: flat plate collectors and concentrating type collectors. Flat plate collectors means the solar radiation falls on the flat plate, as you can see here, falls on the flat plate. It is then transmitted inside, and the water or whatever it is inside can be heated. That is flat plate collectors. In the case of concentrating type collectors, the solar radiation falls on the concentrating type collector. It is then reflected to a common focal point where the material that is to be heated is kept. That means we are able to get higher temperatures using concentrating type collectors. Now we are going to deal with the various applications of flat plate collectors. This is a typical application of flat plate collector. So here we have a flat plate solar water heater which can be kept on the rooftops to heat water. Generally we use this flat plate solar water heater for our homes, offices, hospitals, etc. The topic being material science, we have to know the various materials used for the various parts of this water heater. So the first, we have the flat plate. It is generally made of glass. Then inside or beneath the glass, we have the absorber sheet. The absorber sheet is made of metal and painted black because black has the highest absorption rate. Inside the absorber, we have metallic pipes carrying water. The water that is to be heated is inside the metallic pipes. So from the absorber sheet or from the absorber material, the heat is transferred to the pipelines carrying water, and thereby the water is getting heated. Now the heat of the water should not be radiated outside. To prevent that, we have a heat insulation beneath the absorber sheet. The heat insulation can be a styrofoam or some other heat insulating material. So this is the cross section of the flat plate water heater. So on the top we have the transparent cover, which is generally glass. The property of glass is the glass allows short wave radiations to pass through and prevents the long wave radiations from going outside. The energy of the sun or the sun's radiation comes in as short wave, and they go inside, they go through the glass plate inside to the absorber plate. But then after striking the absorber plate, the wavelength changes to long wave, and this long wave radiation is being prevented from going outside. Thus this glass plate acts as a heat trap. Then we have the absorber painted black, and it can be made of a metal. Then we, as you can see, there are 4 pipelines in this figure. These are metallic pipelines that carry water, and beneath that you have the heat insulation to prevent the heat from radiating outside. This is again the cross section of the flat plate type solar water heater. You can see the glass plate, absorber, insulation, the pipelines carrying water, etc. Now, yet another application of flat plate collector, that is the flat plate box type solar cooker. This is generally used in many villages of northern India. Generally they use coal for cooking, and by using solar energy, no fuel is required, no pollution, and we can attain temperatures of above 200 degrees centigrade using the flat plate box type solar cooker. As you can see here, the lady is keeping the vessels on which the material to be cooked is kept, and the vessel is being kept inside the solar cooker. The lid is closed, and after some time we find that the material has been cooked properly. As you can see written on the solar cooker, the brand name is Surya Kiran. Here in this example, there can be several brands of or various solar flat plate cookers. These are being used in several villages of northern India. Now we will deal with the applications of concentrating type solar collectors. So here we have a parabolic trough collector, which is an example of concentrating type solar collector. So we have a parabolic trough or a collector in the shape of a parabola. So when the radiation of the sun falls on this collector, it is reflected to a common focal point. Here the common focal point are the pipelines carrying water. So I repeat, we have a parabolic trough which is generally made of polished aluminium. The radiation is then reflected to a common focal point. Here the common focal point is the pipeline carrying water. The pipeline can be made of a metal with selective absorber coating so as to maximize the absorption of heat. Using this setup, we can achieve the water can be heated to very high temperatures, and we can even get steam. So this is the side photograph of the parabolic trough. This parabolic trough collectors can be used to generate electricity also. As you can see here, using this concentrating type collector, water is heated to a very high temperature, and this water is then passed through a heat exchanger. A heat exchanger is a device where heat can be exchanged between materials, and these materials need not or will not come directly into contact with each other. Rather, only the heat will be exchanged. So the heat of this water can be given to the fluid, and this fluid will be having a low boiling point. Therefore, using the heat of this water, the fluid vaporizes, and this vapor can be used to drive the turbine generating electricity. The vapor is then cooled in the second heat exchanger using cold water. That means the heat of the vapor is being absorbed by the cold water, this is then pumped back into the first heat exchanger, and the cycle repeats. Now we have the multi-reflector type solar cooker. That means we are having several reflectors which concentrates the solar radiation to a common focal point. So this is a practical demonstration of multi-reflector type solar cooker, and this lady is cooking using this concentrating type solar collector. This is a setup of cooking in a large scale using solar energy. Here the solar energy is being used to generate steam, and this steam is being used for cooking in Rajasthan. Now this is another cooking in a large scale setup of a cooking in a large scale at Tirupati. Here also the solar energy is being used to generate steam, and this steam is being used for cooking. Now the various properties that have to be considered for the materials used for solar applications are transmittance, absorptance, emittance, and reflectance. Transmittance gives you an idea about the amount of light energy that is being transmitted by the material. Similarly, absorptance gives you an idea about the amount of energy that is being absorbed by the material. Emittance again gives you an idea about the amount of energy that is being radiated by the surface. Similarly, reflectance, the amount of energy that is being reflected by the surface. Now we are going to deal with the various types of solar selective coatings for increased solar thermal energy collection. So we already have a metal or a material which absorbs solar energy. Now to increase the absorption rate of the material, it can be coated with various selective coatings. These coatings are known as solar selective coatings to increase the absorption rate. These materials will be generally having high absorptance but very low thermal emittance. The different types of coatings are non-selective coatings, selective coatings, hot mirror coatings, cold mirror coatings, and anti-reflection coatings. An example of non-selective coatings can be our humble black paint. As you all know, the black color has got the maximum absorption when compared to all other colors, and if we paint the material using black paint, it can increase the absorption rate. That is an example of non-selective absorber. For selective absorbers, the examples can be semiconductor coatings, other selective paints, etc. Here what is being done is, these absorbers will select only or will absorb only radiation of a particular wavelength. That is why they are called as selective absorbers. Next comes the hot mirror coatings. In the case of hot mirror coatings, the input beam falls on the mirror and the visual radiation will be transmitted while the infrared radiations will be reflected. So it is the infrared radiations that contains the heat. So therefore, a typical application of hot mirror coatings can be in the case of solar parabolic trough concentrator. Here, when the solar radiation falls on the collector, the infrared radiation will be reflected back to a common focal point, thereby increasing the temperature or increasing the absorption rate of heat. The cold mirror coatings will be the opposite of hot mirror coatings. In the case of cold mirror coatings, it is the infrared radiation that is being transmitted and the visual radiations will be reflected. A typical application of cold mirror coatings will be in the case of solar photovoltaics, where the light is being reflected onto the PV panel and the heat energy or the infrared radiation is being transmitted back. So we are getting light energy with reduced heat energy. Then we have the anti-reflection coating, where the coating is applied to reduce the reflection of the incident solar radiation. Thank you.